second hour main event. Uncle Lou is here as well. Of course, catch him, VSIN contributor, VSIN.com and VSIN Live. Of course, also, Gamblu.com is where you can find him. Follow him on Twitter, at Gamblu as well. We were just talking baseball, and he's lamenting his baseball picks aren't very good. Uncle Lou, with that being said, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. There's a lot going on. I'm tickled to be here. It's important to value present time. You know, a lot of us look ahead and a lot of us are looking what happened. But boy, I love coming in and doing this. I'm having a different hockey season than I did a year ago, so that contributes a little bit to the overall tone. But I love what I do. I'm happy to be here. There's too many fortunate things going on for us to be able to devote time to gambling, which is really what we're doing, sports and gambling. We have to consider ourselves lucky because it's not that for everyone, and it's not something everybody gets to do. So I'm tickled to be here. We have 3 or 4 things, sports and levels to talk about, and that's not even including the NBA because I'm unable to talk about that. So.
Yeah, you're not even so you don't even talk to your NBA guys like on VSIN, or your NBA counterparts and just get some numbers on it. You just don't even care about NBA.
I do 82 games ago when I took Oklahoma City to win the West.
Yeah.
And that was at plus
the start
money.
Of the season.
At plus money, and they were all saying it was a mowdown. Well, I don't think it's going to be any mowdown. I don't know who they could play, but if we get there, then I'm good. But after that,
win the West, meaning they have to make the final, the championship.
They have to go to the championship game.
Yeah. Right now they're playing the Lakers, and then they'll play the winner of the Spurs Timberwolves, which are 1-1 tied right now from that side. So you got a good chance. They're the best team in basketball.
If you look at the numbers in Vegas, they're all affirming because my numbers are way better.
They're the best team.
How long ago I got it? I got them at 2-1 or some stupid number.
It'll be a monumental. That's why I'm shocked at the beginning of the season, a 2-1 number on the Thunder, because they're the best team in basketball going into this season, and they've just stayed with it and stuff like that. That's a heck of a bet at the beginning of the season.
It wasn't Uncle Louis. I'm a smart guy. It was the guys at it was Humans, basically. My buddy Humans works basketball, and I don't have to go any further than him. Sometimes a guy named Dr. Bob that's on Gil Alexander's show, I'll listen to him because he's analytical, but he's been in analytics so long that his experience now folds into the soup. And what I do, one avenue, one specialty. I'm a trend guy. I'm a situational handicapper. I'm analytics guy. Any one of those can be decent, but you better have a mix of all if you're going to be really good, kind of like fighting, Steve.
Absolutely, exactly, right? Hey, Lou, tell everybody where they can find you. Now, we have a big numbered event this week in New Jersey. Some would say that's a foreign land out there.
Well, not only is it a foreign land, I mean, the good news, everything's EST. So if weigh-ins are 6 a.m. tomorrow, About Business comes out early. Everything works well that way. It's a huge fight card, a lot of known names in Newark. And so really the New York and the New Jersey fight commissions can be very eyebrow-raising. I'll look really hard at some of these matchups and some of the points. This is like in the last year or so, points on fights have come up, and at first I was really wary about them, but now I've come to really rely on them and like them. They're totally underutilized, and if you follow me in the UFC, you'll understand how I use them, and sometimes I do really, really well with them. Last week or 2 weeks ago, whichever one was that Australia last week?
Last week was
we
Australia.
Had Malkoon, who was a huge favorite. He was a minus 1,600 favorite, fought like a minus 150 favorite, but we gave the 3.5 points because I thought he was going to knock Mearshart out.
Yeah.
And so I lose that fight because he only won by 1 round on each of the judges' cards. So and not everyone works, but I like to take unusual approaches to these events. I'll share one when we get to hockey. As far as what I do, I'm Gamblu.com. My name is Lou Finicaro. I've been doing this all my life. I recently had a guy in Cincinnati that's doing a newspaper or a very in-depth article on Omaha, Nebraska gambling. I'm from Omaha. And he called me to ask me some insights about it. I wish I knew more. As a 67-year-old guy, my history goes pretty deep, but I'm not quite to the 1920s when all of it was starting. So anyway, I have a webpage, Gamblu.com. You can find everything about me on that top band right there. We're going to talk sports. You'll see that. And you also, somebody rib Uncle Lou to put the new blog up for this week. Boy, is that late.
Yeah. You're talking about that.
But
yeah.
Kobe, let's go back to the top band, and we're just going to go to the far right side, and we're going to mention Steve's so gracious each week. He lets me talk about the San Xavier mission here in Phoenix, Arizona, the oldest mission in the United States. And boy, if there's a day and age when loving one's fellow man can come into vogue, now's the day and the time. And these guys are doing great work with it. I have a link to their webpage on my webpage. We're very pro San Xavier Mission. We're regular contributors, and we love that Steve allows me to do an infomercial on them. If anyone's so inclined, hit that link and go browse around, maybe even donate.
If you're down there in Tucson, man, 20 or so minutes just south of Tucson there, go hit it up also. Go see it for yourself. You'll see the good work they're doing with the schools next door. The mission itself is something you should see because we don't have many 1,600 buildings here.
Thank you.
In Arizona on top of it. So you want to go see that building anyway and stuff to that. My daughter was amazed. She was taking pictures of it when I took her there when we were on vacation there in December. We drove by there and I kept asking, like, these aren't very good drawings. And I was like, that's how they drew back in the 1800s.
Well, first of all, I think it's unbelievable that you would take your family there, which is cool. And if you were there on a weekend, they have this bazaar.
It was there.
And these people bring some of the most authentic Sonoran Mexican food. It is unbelievable. And Tucson is the Mecca. I live in Phoenix. Phoenix is great. But the Mecca is Tucson, and even more Mecca than Tucson, really, is the mission. I'm telling you, when it comes out of Nana's kitchen, you know you're getting the best.
Yeah, they sit right there. They have the little, I don't even know what to describe, like little covers. They're made out of trees, I believe. And they just sit out there and cook this stuff. And I didn't partake in it because we had already eaten and everything. But it's a great place to go even if you don't support it, just the building alone. But Lou, no, like I tell you all the time, man, I'm proud that you do that because I watch all these other gambling shows, and probably rightfully so. They're just all about you win this, win that. I won this, I won that. They don't really talk about their losses. You won, talk about your losses. You talk about your wins. Not so much your wins as you do your losses. And then, of course, supporting the good causes out there. And then, like you said, in today's day and age, man, if there's a time that you're able to do it, now's the time to support some other causes out there with everything happening in the world. But don't forget about your website there. You got the sneak peek that is out for this week. About Business will come out after weigh-ins coming up as well.
I never mention the podcast. I always forget. And you always remind me. But I do.
Almost like I'm a professional, Lou.
A couple podcasts a week devoted to UFC. And really, it isn't about UFC news or gossip or projection. Here's who I think this guy should fight. No, we clean all that out. And my podcasts are 8-9 minutes. And the sneak peek tells you what the lines opened at for this week and where they've changed on a Sunday, Monday when you have the whole week ahead of you. And then on Friday, after the weigh-ins, you get the final results, my final picks on the About Business podcast, which last week went 0 for 4, by the way. Not afraid to say it. It's been a tough start to the year, but I have a couple future bets in my pocket. I'm going to have a good week this week, and we're just going to have to, as Parcells said, you are what your record says you are. And so we're going to have to clean up UFC a little bit. Meanwhile, in hockey.
Let's get into it. Let's talk hockey.
Yeah, hockey's been really good. I don't want to be too, while I want to talk my way into profits on the UFC, I don't want to talk about hockey because I don't want to change anything that's going on right now. Mostly, however, My numbers and models are simple. I do the same thing across all sports. I look at a team. I track their early opening number. I watch what the market does to those numbers. And if I can find an opportunity to take a team I think might be live for whatever reason, and they opened at one number, say plus 110, but now at the end of the week, they're plus 122. Well, what happened during the week that gave me $12 extra on this guy? These guys didn't inject anything into their veins. What happened? Well, the market moved the number, and I'm not afraid to put my opinion against the market. Last week didn't work, and this week we'll see how it works. But that's really what I try and do, is find opportunity. And in hockey, they're betting home teams, and they're drunk with home teams. And if we want to talk,
I think it's gotten worse, hasn't it? Last week you mentioned that, and I was shocked at that number. And then I was just paying attention to some stuff on my own while watching these games, and I think people are like doubling down on home teams, which seems a little shocking to me.
Especially when you get a Colorado or one of those monsters at home, they just think it's free money, and the numbers go.
That's the thing; the numbers are
aggressive,
huge,
and I track them, and all I do then. I don't think, okay? Because if I think that Anaheim can go in for game 2 and beat Las Vegas like they did last night, I won't bet it. They're plus 145. Everybody's on Vegas. There's no reason to bet Anaheim. What do? We bet Anaheim because they opened at 132. They close at 145. So I'm getting 15 cents just by waiting close to puck drop, and I'm getting price advantage on a team that the line makers, when they gave the original number here, they know what I know. They know way more than I know, but they know they're going to get pounded on the home team. Yet they didn't set their price enough. The market still went beyond. Good. That allows for me to just go oppo. And it isn't rocket science. It's a little bit of time and effort to track where those numbers are going. And so Montreal was a release last night. Didn't work. Yeah. Lose one. Okay, they're an underdog. Next one, Anaheim, they're a dog, but they win. So we go 1-1, but instead of football, where we pay the 10 cents at plus 145, we pick up 45, say half a unit just by splitting. I'll do that every single day.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's how you win, right? Nobody's going to know that you split at the end when you're counting your money.
So anyway, what I wanted to talk about is our favorites, home teams, et cetera.
Yep.
So favorites, 30-22. And so they're ahead a little bit, but home teams, okay, 27-25. And I want to make that note because my record currently 27-20. I have not bet a home team. So I'm 27-20, taking only road teams so far
Not
this
one
year.
home team.
Not one home team. No,
Carolina and Colorado aren't giving you good numbers as home teams, so that's a good way to avoid those guys.
If you remember the first series where L.A. played, I think Anaheim.
LA played Colorado.
LA played Colorado, and Colorado was big favorites, and both of those were one-run games.
One
baseball,
goal.
1-goal games,
and even overtime on top of it.
Those were both LA King plus 1.5 bets for us.
Yeah.
So sometimes I did that the other night. Yeah. I take a team plus 1.5 and hope for overtime, and you're automatic winner. And so we've been seeing the ball very well in hockey.
The puck.
And again, home teams 26-24. So that means, 27-20. 27 times I've taken a team to make a bet at $1 that's going to win me more than the $1. Yeah. And in each case, I've been the beneficiary of a couple extra cents. And any businessman will tell you, if they can make 3 more cents on a $1 item, that 3 cents going in their pocket, baby. So it all adds up. And so I'm fired up about hockey. That right now, road teams are loose. There's no pressure. There's a lot of pressure on these home teams, especially these teams with younger kids that are new. The Ducks, Buffalo, Montreal. So a lot to like. A lot more to go. I'm really fired up about it.
Well, so like I said earlier in the program before you came on, because I look at it from the fan perspective, Lou looks at it from the gambling perspective. Can Minnesota, I'm looking at it like, can Minnesota even win one of these games coming up at home? Because Colorado is just on fire right now. I feel the same way about Philadelphia. So what are you looking at in that series? You might not even bet it. I understand that as well. But are you looking for, like, if my opinion is Minnesota might only win one, Philadelphia might only win one, are you looking for that one game that you think they can sneak it in with the numbers? Because I imagine the money's going heavy on Colorado and Carolina the rest of the way in this series. I'm projecting here at this point, type of a thing. So if you are looking at those series, is that kind of what you're kind of looking for? Like, can Minnesota win Game 3, and then that's the angle you're looking at?
Anything can happen. Look at home teams are only 27 and 25.
Well, that's the issue, right? Because now they're going back home.
Now, do I want to take it depends on the situation. Again, tonight, Thursday, we have one game, Carolina at Philly.
Yep.
So that, you talk about that one, and that one's gone from Carolina open 156. Now they're 162. Okay. Let's see what happens as we get closer to puck drop.
And you've been saying too, wait till puck drops before you put that down, right before the puck drops.
Yes, right? Because usually the price on the underdog is no greater. But what I'm watching in this game is Carolina, because I think that through the day, the public that bet, and they're going to start betting at 2:00. This game's at 4:00.
4:00 our time.
Okay, so 2 hours before, I think we're going to see this number go from 155 or 160 down, because they're going to be betting Philly. It's Game 3. It's a must-win. They're at home. That is the public mentality. And I would like it to go down substantially, because I'm interested in Carolina on the road. If I can get them at price advantage, we'll see what that price does during the day.
Yeah, and I'm not asking you, like, what it's going to go to, but, like, if it's minus 166 now, what would be a range for a price advantage on that, at least in your eyes? Because is a minus 120 what you're kind of looking for?
No.
Or are you talking a big drop?
No, I'm talking minus 120 would be. You won't see that.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Like,
you'll see one. You might
just so
see
people at home
150.
can understand, like, what you consider a price advantage here off the anything less than 166 that it's at now, or is there a number you would be, not necessarily for this game, but in general, you'd be looking for in a movement?
Yeah, I look for as much as I can. If I like the road team, I'm going to take them almost no matter what, provided I'm getting some price advantage with them, and maybe on an occasion, even not. This Carolina game will be interesting. But to answer your question, it's 162 now as I'm looking at several numbers.
Yeah, DraftKings is 166. I don't know.
Okay, so let's see what happens to that number. If it goes down into the 50s, then Carolina could easily be a take. Going to be a lot of pressure on a young Philly team at home, very defensive. That's really a year ahead of themselves, like Montreal was last year. You're seeing huge numbers to 5.5 minus 140. If you shop around, you can get 5.5s, and you can also find 5s. And if you're willing to pay juice, you can take the over 5 and the under 5.5 and really play at no risk and hope that it lands on 5. 2-2 overtime means you push one bet and you win one bet. And anything else, you just give 35, 40 cents of juice. And if you're looking to entertain yourselves that way, that's very safe bet where you can't lose too much. I would do that if I could find a full goal, but not this time of year. So I'm interested.
That's the way you look at these things. I would never even think about that. From a fan's perspective here, to even look at that line.
Tomorrow they're going to be on Buffalo. Buffalo open 134. They're going to be on Buffalo like white on rice. So we'll watch that number rise. Montreal's currently 120. They'll be 130.
Montreal's plus 120?
Yeah, they'll be plus 130 or 35.
And people are going to pound Buffalo leading up to the puck tomorrow night?
Because they're a great story. Yeah. They're a great team.
Yeah,
they deserve it. And Montreal was dead after a 7-game series, all one-run games against one puck games against Tampa. Montreal show better in the next game. And then Las Vegas and Anaheim opens almost a pick. Vegas 107, Anaheim 105. Another game where you're going to see people now saying, hey, this Anaheim's for real. And they're going to believe. And if we can
That's what I was saying earlier, Lou.
If I can get Vegas at plus 100 or better, meaning plus 101, plus 102, they're a buy.
I mean, if you watched that game last night, Anaheim looked faster, quicker. Vegas looked like they had their feet in cement last night, which you have to worry about on an older team at times as well. And I think a lot of people, I read some stories this morning commenting on that. I think a lot of people are, like you said, favoring and it's going back home to Anaheim as well, so they'll be the home team.
Oh,
You're
they'll
going to
be
see a
drunk
lot of people jumping on the
Oh,
Ducks
yeah.
with the way they look compared to the Knights. The Knights had 8 penalty minutes in the first 5 minutes of game time last night.
Yeah, and if you
was
remember in
downhill
the
from the
first period, there was like a 3-minute 5-on-3.
Yeah, they had a major.
If you
Eichel.
watch playoffs long as I do, when you have a 5-on-3 for more than a minute, one team over another, and the team that has the 5, they score a goal, 95% of the time they win the game. Also, in that same situation, if it's 5-on-3 and the team that's 5 doesn't score, in my estimation, 85% of the time they don't go on to win.
Yeah.
5-on-3 is that important. And last night, Anaheim in that first period had 3 minutes of 5-on-3, and all they did was pass around, look cute. Man, there is such a lack of two things in the NHL. Number one, put the dadgum puck on the net and create the hysteria. That's number one. Number two is, if you're looking to score on these goalies this time of year playing passion hockey, and you're not aiming for his ear or his chin, you ain't going. It ain't going to go in. You're aiming here, and if you're not aiming over shoulders and ears, it's simply going to be stopped. These guys are too good. And you see the goals that are going in that are impressive are hitting the top of the net. It's simple that.
Off the posts, right? As close as you can be to being out there. It's, I hear that ding, and then it goes in. But that's the thing about Anaheim that did strike me, that does worry me about them in terms of that, is they refused to put the puck on the goal. Game 1, they had a wide open net, and the guy decided to pass it instead of shooting it. Last night, even though they won that game, there were multiple instances where it's like, put it on the goaltender, play the rebound, and they refused to do it. I think that's the biggest flaw with them that could come back and bite them pretty quickly.
They're really fast.
Out.
They're really skilled.
I was shocked at how fast they were.
Quenneville at coach. That's a team we're going to hear so much about in the future. Right now, they're just packing this experience in. And I think this coach is having a marvelously fun time with these groups, because now these kids believe. But eventually you're going to need some experience and some guile, and that's what's coming to town this week. And Game 3 is going to be a nice setup for Vegas, I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, Vegas ain't going to play like they played last night. Vegas, that's the problem I have with Vegas, too. Is with their age and their experience and whatever, they have games like they had last night where they look like they're not there to play. And they just look like they're just, let's survive this game. Whatever happens, happens. Let's survive. That worries me about Vegas as well. But I was kind of joking around earlier that Buffalo, Montreal are basically going to battle it out for 6-7 games for the right to, play Carolina and get smothered by them. And same thing with the Knights in Anaheim. The winner of this series is going to face Colorado. And it just, they have the right to just face the two best teams out there. And good luck to you.
No, that's what it looks like. But I believe that either Buffalo or Montreal can stack up to.
I think Buffalo definitely can.
The Canes. The Canes have trouble depth of scoring this year. The second line with that kid that's on fire has done well. But they've done well early before. And then as it gets late and it gets heavier, meaning the guys get bigger, the game gets more physical, they've struggled. And Brindamore tends to be a grippy coach. So Buffalo or Montreal, both of those teams have what it takes to match up well with the Canes. Meanwhile, on the other side, it doesn't matter who gets in Colorado's way. I mean, you saw them in L.A. win 1-0, and then they go to Minnesota, or Minnesota comes to town, they throw 9 up on them.
14 goals in the first 2 games against Minnesota.
The team is a machine, and currently we have, if you follow me on hockey, we have McKinnon at 550, and we got Wedgwood at 19-1, I want to say, for Conn Smythe Award.
Really?
So what we're starting to do is
look
at Colorado and trying to figure out. Now, we don't have Makar, and we'll see if that changes or not. Excuse me, let me press the. Here's another thing, guys.
I love your old. Have you figured out your iPhone yet?
No, I bought a new iPhone 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm afraid to touch it at night because it's going to call somebody. I don't know how to turn the sound down. I finally had my son come over and find my Apple Music for me and put it back in. I'm having a hell of a time with this phone. What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
I was deep into good hockey thoughts. So anyway, let me tell you, if you follow me, I made some crazy bets this week before Game 1 of Buffalo-Montreal. I played the game. The series goes 6 games plus 205. I played the series goes 7 games plus 205. Win 1, I win money. Push aside. I played Buffalo wins 4-3 plus 550. I played Buffalo wins 4-2 plus 550. I played Montreal wins 4-3, 550, and I played Montreal wins 4-2, 550. So I need 6 or 7 games out of this series, and I'm winning money because those 4 bets right there will win a buck. 3 points if you're betting 1 unit. These are half unit bets for me. So that was the approach I took if I think it's going deep. So this next game here, Mr. Montreal tomorrow, that's pretty important because if Buffalo gets out 2-0, splits at Montreal, all of a sudden Uncle Lou's sweating real bullets.
No, that's an amazing thing to look at. And folks, don't forget also when you go to gamblu.com, for your hockey stuff, you have to sign in for that. You do not pay anything, even though it might elude you to think you are paying something. You don't pay anything anymore there. Because I had somebody actually just message, or I saw a message or something. I don't remember what. And they said, I thought it was free. I'm not paying for that. And I messaged them back and said,
it is free. Look, the pricing is crossed out.
Go into it and do it. It's just the old formats on there, 0 price on it. You have and you just get the information.
You have to input your email address and a password in order to get to the page that's NHL. You hit the NHL tab at the top of the website. It says commentaries. You hit that and bang, you're in. But you got to put your email in.
I know somebody that doesn't do any sports gambling, Lou, and they're following you on the hockey side just because they have a couple coworkers that talk a lot of hockey. They like to show. They said they like to show them up a little bit. So they're following you, because even though they're not gambling, so we can talk to them and say, "Oh, I like this tonight."
Oh no, when they go to the water cooler and tell the other guys are laughing at them.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Laughing at
you.
Oh
no, he told me that a couple of weeks ago.
So he's having fun. That's
cool. So he's having fun with it and not gambling.
That's what I
want
to do is help guys like that. That's what I want to do.
And it just cracks me up there. So even if you don't gamble, Lou brings you the info you need to know to show up that loudmouth in your office.
I try to,
right?
But hey, listen, I'm telling you, 27 and 20. I don't know what that percentage is, but 20 out of 50 bets, 38%. I'm losing. So there's some loss. You just got to win more than lose. And when you can set yourself up with 2 dogs and hit one, and you can just matriculate your way over a few days to 2 or 3 points of profit. Now you're scraping from them instead of them scraping from you.
Yeah, pay attention to that. Robert says, Uncle Lou out there making me feel like Steve Jobs. Did you just throw numbers out earlier? Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, let's take our break, get into UFC, because last week's fights, I was joking around that I'm going to be up watching them. But I had this head thing going on. I feel fine. I just had this head thing. I was all stuffy. Man, I woke up at 1 o'clock. I missed 2 fights because I fell back asleep. Other than that, caught the whole UFC event overnight.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll come clean, man. That Madalena loss is maybe as embarrassing a loss as I've had in 5 years.
Yeah, we got a couple that I want to talk to you about on
baby.
that. So we'll come back talk about it. Then numbered event. I'm excited for this main event coming up this weekend more than anything. But it's just full of guys that you'll recognize here on the UFC side as well for this battle. So let's get into it with Uncle Lou coming up next. I like the sound of that, to be honest with you. Uncle Lou's here, of course, on Thursdays. VSIN, catch him on VSIN Live, so multiple shows there. Gamblu.com. Follow him on Twitter. Gamblu as well. He always puts stuff out, comments about things as well. Gamblu.com. Follow him there from that perspective. Also, and Lou, last week in the UFC, I want to get into this here. Like I said, overnight fights. I don't know how many people caught it. I don't know if I saw any specific ratings for it or anything from that side of things. But I thought it was overall a pretty good card. A lot of Australians won, but a few didn't. That we talked about last week, possibly winning those fights out there as well. Let me ask you something. The Ben Johnston, Wes Schultz fight that happened last weekend from Australia. Was there something, I couldn't remember what you said. I should have gone back and listened, so I apologize. Was there something about Wes Schultz that it ended up being a submission for him over Ben Johnston? Were you? What are your thoughts on Wes Schultz? Did you have any last week, or did I just make it up in my mind?
No, I said Schultz could win by submission because he's a sub guy.
That's what I thought you had said. Because he was the underdog in that fight, and he ended up getting it and everything against Ben Johnson. And I should have gone back and listened. But I was like, I got to ask Lou about Schultz.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give 10 thoughts.
Yeah.
And then Friday after weigh-ins, I try and take those 10 thoughts and boil them down to the best. And I did a poor job of that last week.
Yeah, because I was impressed with Schultz. I mean, I don't know if that says anything about Ben Johnson.
Those fights down there, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I don't know the competition level is what I'm kind of getting. But I will say this: Malkoun and Mearshart, big favorite there going into this fight. Malkoun was, man, what a disappointment that fight was. He ends up getting the decision at the end of it. Is that a Mearshart showing up and getting that to a decision? Was that more him? Or was that just Malkoun being disappointing?
It was Mearshart showing up because he's lost 3, 4, 5 going into that fight, knowing what everybody was saying. It's also the fact that they're both real grapplers. One's a wrestler, Malkoun, and Mearshart is a bigger, longer, taller guy, and he's a BJJ guy. And so they matched up well for Mearshart because Malkoun clearly didn't stand a distance, try and knock him out too much. I don't know. I didn't watch the fight, to be quite honest with you. But when I saw there was just one round, it's what I couldn't have. So I had it. So let me tell you how I bet that.
Because it wasn't he? It was a 1,300 favorite.
He's 1,300 favorite.
Was,
but if you take him minus the 3.5, it was minus 4.25, and I had him parlayed to the first Steele, the first fighter on the card that was a minus 180 favorite. Steele won, so if Malkoun hits, we got 1 unit to win more than 1 unit. I'm not betting 4 units to win 1 ever, or let alone 13 to win 1. So we had Malkoun in a great position. The picture was completely sketched. The blueprint was perfect, and then my construction crew went out there, and the bridge ended up missing just like this.
Yeah, so, it didn't connect right.
The plan was great, but the result wasn't so good.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that fight, and I was like, Malkoun's a 1,300 favorite in this fight. But I also, I know Mearshart has lost a lot lately, but I do like him in the ring in certain matchups. I like the way he fights and things, and he kind of gave me what I expected from him. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know Malkoun at all, but
I'll tell you what he gave me. Indigestion.
Yeah, right. Well, sorry about that, Lou. I'll take blame for that one as well. Cam Browston did beat Robert Bricek there in the main event, or in the fight before the main event there in the prelims. Went to decision here as well. The Australian got it over the Poland guy. And I don't know, like you said, overnight fight. I don't know if you saw the prelims. Did you catch this one at all? I was just curious if your opinion changed on Bricek, so we'll change on that here. You get to the main event.
I'm walking dog by now. I slept through the prelims. I walked the dog. I got a coffee. And all I really wanted to see was the last couple fights.
Exactly. As we get into that, and like you said, there's a couple here. Tim Elliott, Steve Ursig.
Watch that one.
Because we had talked about that. Flyweight bout there. It ended up going to the decision here. Ursig does get the win over Tim Elliott. Any thought changes on either of these two fighters?
No, Elliott fought great. He just 39 years old, coming off a broken leg and some kind of blood issue. And he fought 9 months ago in August. So that's a lot for a 39-year-old guy going to Australia against an Australian that's younger, taller, longer, more precision striker. Elliott just couldn't get the fight into hysterical phase, which is what he needs. He needs it to be a barroom brawl. Ursig wouldn't play, and by the third round, Ursig was piecing him up.
Yeah, absolutely. As the fight went on, Tim Elliott looked worse and worse and worse.
Oh, yeah.
But I liked him overall for coming back from that leg injury, because you had mentioned that last week, and everything for those flyweight guys as well. Dariush lost to Salkeed in this fight here, KO in the first round, Lou.
And I keep, this year I've really made a concerted effort to get off the older guys when they're fighting a younger guy, but I couldn't help myself here. I took Dariush and Salkild to start round 2 plus 250. in a parlay into the main event to start to, which was gonna easy, and it did. Of course, I lose the first part with a minute left or something.
3:29 in this verse.
Oh gosh, I mean, Dariush was fine, but he just can't survive at striking range, and he got there,
and he stood
or
there.
Saul Kid got him there and rung him up. Dariush is done now.
That's what
we
I was going to
won't
ask
see
you.
him fight again.
He's done.
Not in the UFC, we won't.
From that side. Sal
Well,
Keith
they may give him some freaking
low end.
yes.
Prelim type fight kind of a deal. Just
I love the kid. He's not a kid. He's an old fighter to them. He's a kid to me.
He's as old as me, Lou. He's not 49, but he's old.
I really like all these kids. Dariush is a guy I like.
Okay. So round one there. Jack Della Maddalena and Carlos Pradas here battling it out in this main event. Round 3 KO ended up happening there for Carlos. The Brazilian beat the Australian here. I was disappointed in Maddalena. That did not come as advertised, in my opinion, the way they were hyping him up as a fighter. Am I wrong on that?
Well, I don't know who they was. I know
the broadcast.
I missed this handicap really big. I thought Maddalena was going to be able to forge forward, take the inside position and work the body and wear him down. And I became white as a ghost about 30 seconds into the fight when I saw how scared Maddalena was.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to use the word scared. Okay.
Oh, he was scared. He was so scared.
I was thinking he was timid. I was like,
no.
There's something going on in this where he trained for something and the other guy's doing something else. And he's like, I don't know what to do with it.
And so while I overestimated Jack Della Maddalena, I completely underestimated Prates, and I did that both in the same fight, and the result was devastating, clearly. So those are ones that really that hang with me for a few days. They hurt because I expect better of myself than that. And yet the ones that I nail when I get a plus 400, you puke it out and you move on because that's the nature of the game. So the best thing about the UFC is that I don't have time to gloat and beat my chest when I win, and I surely don't have time to be bummed out when I lose because the next day is a Sunday. I got to get ready for the next week's sneak teep. So you turn the page and you keep marching, and nobody said it was going to be easy, and that's fine because if it was easy, anyone could do it, and I wouldn't want to do it then. I want to do something that's difficult. I want to compete.
Yeah, and I got done with that fight, and I was like, I'm going to go get some work stuff done and everything. By the way, I hung around, obviously, and since there's no UFC that night, I turned on the Kentucky Derby. Did you have Golden Tempo coming from the rear at a 25-1 ticket?
No, my buddy had the exacta, my buddy Shu in Louisiana, and he sent me his picks, and I had all his numbers, and I played some aggressive trifecta positions. But I didn't have 19 in one of them. I should have respected more the young gal on her first. But you can only have. I'm playing a 5-horse try box that $1 is $60. So and I'm spinning numbers, and it was fun, and I was excited. I knew I was going to win money, and then 2 minutes later, I got to pick up the pieces because I got bludgeoned. Yeah. So hey, I set an amount that I could lose. I bet every penny of it, and I lost every penny of it. Listen, if you think you're going to – I have my hands full with Strickland or Chimaev, okay? Waldo or Costa or Volkov.
Yes.
Either or, one or the other, the Packers or the Bears, the White Sox or the Red Sox. But now you're going to give me 20-horse field, say, Lou, pick the winner of that. I'm not your guy. And anyone that says they are, that wins at horses – they're lying because they can't. No one can, not to mention the pari-mutuel 20% hold that they tax you for. So the horse racing, if you have expendable money and you want to try like I did to win, several thousand betting couple hundred, then have at it. But if you think you're going to win, I tell you.
I did see one exacta ticket hit with Golden Tempo winning. It was like $1 one, and I think it won like 11. It was 11,000, I think, dollars, or maybe 11 million
for an exacta.
For an exacta, or maybe it was 11 million. But somebody hit one of those types of deals with Golden Tempo on the front.
What was the price of the exacta in the Kentucky Derby this year? Sorry, but Siri's good.
Yeah, good. But I saw somebody hit something. It was either an exacta or what's the other one? The one where you don't have to have the exact order of them. But I did see one of those tickets
Oh,
hit, and it was
Quinella.
a dollar one, and it was a ton of money.
Well, yeah.
That
I mean,
person won, obviously.
when you think
Last to first.
23 to 1 over 5 to 1, you're getting paid.
Yeah, and that was I thought it was an exciting race there, especially though the
it was
backstretch
great.
was the amazing one
It was
from that
great.
side. So, but it was fun to watch. But anyway, I wanted to bring
If
that
you
up
take
here,
that 19 out, though, I'd have had a lot of winners. Because I
Well,
had
yeah,
all,
yeah.
of course it is. You just take that 19 out, and Uncle Louis painted the race white. But they throw that 19 in there, and all of a sudden, Uncle Louis turned
I watched
white.
a lot of stuff leading up to that Kentucky Derby, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday. And like everybody was just like dismissing Golden Tempo. They like nobody was talking about it. Nobody was saying like he has a chance to even be in the top 3. Just kind of dismissing it, kind of a deal. Then he wins, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, so and so had that," and I'm like, "No, they didn't."
Well,
you liars.
no. I mean, if it's on air, they do.
It just made me laugh. All of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!"
As my dad used to tell me, success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan.
Exactly right. Well, it's like the what was that? The 100-point game there by Wilt Chamberlain. There was actually 1,000 people there, but if you talk to people, there was
2
a
million
million where saw it happen. So same type of a deal. But hey, UFC 328 this weekend, 6 p.m. main card here from the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, coming up this weekend. Saturday night as well, Lou. This is going to be a fun event. Big ring, of course, in New Jersey. You talked about the judging here for those that get to decisions, something to pay attention to in this fight as well. Bunch of early prelim fights, obviously prelim fights as well before we get to the main event. Any of these prelim fights worth tuning into and should be exciting fights here? I think it's 4.
I think from kickoff you want to watch this card. Carpenter and Ochoa are going to be great. Carpenter's a kid that fights here out of the MMA lab. Lost his last 2. He's a gifted savant of a wrestler that is learning fast and quick and hard. That strike evasion, bless you, evasion and being able to strike fluently are critical in the world of mixed martial arts. And he isn't there yet with his hands. He's got the best gym in the world, one of the best gyms in the world, teaching him how. But they get this wild, crazy maniac from Peru and Ochoa here. This is going to be maybe one of the best fights on the card because Ochoa can do both. And because he can do both, I think he's going to hold advantage on the feet where he might be a little faster. This should be really interesting. Carpenter must wrestle in this fight, I think. Then Jordan Santos takes on Surskatayev. This Surskatayev, the UFC loves this kid. They're fast tracking him and projecting him. He wanted a name. They gave him this guy, and he's like, okay. And you know what? This guy is a dangerous MFER. He is dangerous. This dude, Jordan Santos, this is going to be a good fight. Santos can grapple a little bit, but he's got heavy hands, kicks, feet. He's very aggressive. Surskatayev is a vice grip Russian wrestler who trains with Chimaev, and eventually I think Surskatayev will submit Jordan Santos.
He's an 875 favorite now. What do you have with that open
by
now
sub.
by chance?
Yeah, I do. I have that all the time. 630.
630. So it is going his way. Over under here is 1.5 minus 166 to the over right now as well.
Yeah, Jordan Santos will give him a fight.
So just winding him down and
What's
then get him on the ground.
Submission, please.
Okay, perfect. For that one as well. Sabatini?
No, what's Surskatayev submission?
I apologize. I misheard you there. Let me
if
pull
you
that
don't
up
mind, because this Surskatayev, all he's going to do is wear Jordan Santos out and suck the gas.
Plus 450 via submission for Surskatayev.
What's KO?
KO is plus 100.
So they're thinking hands. I'm thinking sub. A Surskatayev sub, if you want to put a ham sandwich on that, I think you could have fun with that bet. Yeah. That's mismarked. Really? That's a mistake. Yeah. That's a bad number.
Even decisions only plus 200.
Well, it ain't going to decision.
Yeah, but
so anyway, that's a good one. Then we go to Kopylov and Tulio. A lot of guys in my industry who I trust like Kopylov as a dog here. Tulio, I've never been overly impressed with, but this is Brazil, Russia, so you got to watch that, and it's standing, so they'll slug. Then you got the geriatrics, Jim Miller, 42, Jared Gordon, 36. Jared Gordon, 6 years younger, he never gets that. He is a really cool dude. He was on the streets, destitute, a drug addict 20 years ago. He's changed his life. He's in the UFC. They're giving him a kind of a classic fight with Jim Miller. Jim Miller won't have anything for Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon can wrestle better. He's got better hands. He's faster. He's younger. I'm tickled for Gordon to get this fight because they finally give him somebody that's not an assassin. The problem is you're going to get assassinated because Gordon you got to pay $330 for or something.
Yeah, right now it's a big number, 310 right now for him.
Yeah,
and that over unders 2.5 minus 200 are the overs. So they're saying decision. Jim Miller's going to pull that to a decision.
What's Jim? No. What's Jared Gordon decision? If you don't mind looking that one up
for you real quick. No worries.
Because as Steve noted, that's a high number. So the chances are that fight goes to decision. If it goes to decision, we can take our boy Gordon and pay minus 200.
Well, you want to know who decision?
Yeah, Gordon decision.
Minus 115.
Oh, that's a good price right there.
Because it's minus 310 otherwise.
So see what you're doing now. If Gordon knocks him out, which I think is plausible but not reasonable. I think these are two guys that are going to, at the end hug and kiss. They've been in the UFC for 2 decades each, haven't seen each other because this is their first fight. But I really do think this is a good setup for Jared Gordon, and I'm tickled because I really like the human.
Really quick, I just want to ask you, I don't know if you skipped it, for Pat Sabatini, William Gomez, featherweight fight as well in the early prelims?
Yeah, I skipped that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Not on purpose.
Okay.
I skipped it on mistake.
Okay.
Gomez is a long, tall string bean of a guy. He's a striker from France. I'm not a big French anything fan, let alone French fighters. But he's a pitter-patter guy that wants distance, and he's going to outpoint you. No real power, and he's going against a guy from Philly. So Philly, and these fights are in Jersey, so Sabatini's going to have a huge amount of crowd favorite there.
Down the road.
And he is an American grappler wrestler. However, he's got a balsa wood beak. So the intrigue now in this fight is set. The problem is I don't think Gomez can flush him and hurt him. Sabatini's going to get in on him and just wrestle this kid up, I think. And Sabatini's a minus
205 right now.
Yeah,
on DraftKings.
I think and this one's another one that probably goes to decision.
Really?
2.5 is what?
Minus 166 to the over.
Yeah, I mean Sabatini sub or Sabatini decision, I think, is where I would lean here. And I don't play those specifics. If I like a guy to beat another guy, I'm going to go via KO, sub, or DQ, and that's basically inside the distance. You can play those on the DraftKings. I don't like to get too specific and chase all these huge numbers.
Yeah.
I'd rather try and cash a ticket, and inside the distance if you think one guy is going to beat the other guy. So I won't do that with Sabatini. If I used him, I'd use him in parlays just to win. But it's not a fight I'll probably be looking at.
Minus 205, like I said, right now for Sabatini. And I show that as an early – I know sometimes they change stuff, but I show that as an early prelim fight as well. But going back to the regular prelims, Grant Dawson against Rabicki here from Poland, United States-Poland matchup, lightweight fight.
Yeah, Dawson is a vice grip American wrestler. Unrelenting forward pressure. Very aggressive, decent hands, no chin, and he's been KO'd. You got the other side. You got Rebecki's short little Polish bowling ball, just looks like a fire hydrant. Has great hands, good wrestling, and but maybe not the wrestling that Dawson has. Dawson's surely going to want to take this kid down and get top position and wipe him on the floor. And I think Rebecki's going to try and touch him. And keep it standing. Should be a pretty good fight here. Again, Dawson minus 160, Rebecki plus 140. Am I close
166 there? For Dawson.
Yeah.
Really close, yeah.
Yeah, so and 2.5 over minus
minus
250.
154.
Oh, and it opened minus 250. So that number's come down real heavy.
Yeah, almost 100 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, considering you said Dawson, Rebecca wants to touch Dawson.
Yeah,
as
well,
well in that,
it means
so.
Dawson sub or Rebecca KO is what it means. Do I believe it? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to find a side, and I can't, so I pass.
Hey, quick question for you here on DraftKings. They have a fight, Roman Kopylov.
Mm-hmm. We're
here.
coming up to that.
Oh, we are, okay. Because I was going to say I don't see it on my USA. Okay, I don't see it on my
talked about
UFC
it.
site.
Kopylov and Tulio. I talked about.
Oh,
that.
you know what I have confused.
What
They have
daydream believer? Or
they
what?
have Tulio Silva on DraftKings. UFC just had Tulio, so I didn't realize. Okay, that's why I was
You
confused.
better come up with a good excuse.
They added a separate name on DraftKings.
I'm trying to think. There's no beautiful women in here that would distract Steve from listening to what I'm saying.
They added a different name.
Okay.
Next up, let's get out of this. Joel Alvarez, Yaroslav Amosov,
and this fight,
Ukraine.
I mean, you don't want to miss this card. Fight after fight is going to be great. The only rest will be Jared Gordon and Jim Miller, I think, and Gomez and Sabatini, because these others are barn burners, and this is a barn burner. Joel Alvarez is a cheater, and by that I mean the freaking guy is 6'2", 77-inch reach, and just a killer that was always fighting at 155 pounds, never made the weight. Because he was a cheater. He wanted to bully little guys, didn't want to fight guys at 170 his own size. Finally, he missed enough at 55. UFC said, you're a 170-er, baby. And now he's had to fight at 170. And his last fight at 170 looked great. But now they put him in here against this freaking rabid, lathering Russian wrestler striker who is just an absolute beast. And Alvarez still going to be 3 inches the taller man, and he's going to have a couple-inch reach advantage, and he's surely going to want to use distance appropriately, but really Alvarez is a sub guy. The issue with this is that if it goes to the ground, Amosov's wrestling, it's Russian, Dagestani, vice grip wrestling. It's kryptonite to BJJ. So I don't know that Alvarez at his strength can deal with Amosov, and on the feet, I think that Amosov has advantage. So this is a fight where Amosov's minus what?
185.
That'll be 200 by fight day. So, and I believe it, and I think it's right. And I would use Amosov early and often in parlay pieces with other fighters I've talked about. But I really like him. I like him in this fight. Provided I like him in the fight.
Now it's a welterweight fight here. Somebody. Alvarez, like you said, likes to go down to the ground. Any submission possibilities here?
Alvarez has some power and length, so if he can keep it at distance, he can shock Amosov trying to come in. So
only reason I ask,
it's going to be the best fight of the night.
First fight, over unders 1.5 on this one, minus 210 to the over right now. That's the only reason I was asking here. Obviously, they have over 1.5, but that does signal a faster fight.
I'm just looking
here,
early in the week. I may have talked about Alvarez early in the week. Let's see. I can't. I'll find out.
Yeah. That just kind of lit my eyes up there. Obviously, minus 210. I don't know if that's going to switch to 2.5 at some point, but they do like that over 1.5 right there in terms of Vegas side. While you're dealing with that, Atiba Gutierrez and Ozzy Diaz battling it out here. Is some middleweight guys here. Gutierrez I like as a fighter, and so does Vegas. Minus 1,100 favorite going.
Have you seen him? I mean, we've seen him before. The guy's just
Several
a killer.
times, yeah.
Now, in his last
Beast.
fight, we had another kid, a Russian, that took him over the distance. We took the over, which was basically betting on the Russian, and the Russian was able to take him to decision. Gauthier was just distressed at that performance, looking to come back better. And they're giving him a guy in Ozzy Diaz that's going to be willing and then dead. This Gauthier is an absolute monster. And what the UFC is doing is driving Gauthier and Suskatayev, okay? They're driving those two 185ers to the top of the division. And Gauthier right now, just power in his hands. He hits the building collapses and implodes. But He's not a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Now, Siskatayev is a well-rounded mixed martial artist that is an absolute bad hombre in grappling Dagestani wrestling. And the fight between those two, they asked Siskatayev yesterday in interviews, what would that look like if they put you together? And he's like, oh, that would be easy work for me.
By the way,
you know what? He's right.
I mean, Gutierrez walks into the ring. He's 6'4", just. He's got his abs have abs. His abs have abs that have abs. I mean, the guy is just a powerful beast when he goes in there. I like him a lot. This is the final fight of the prelims, man. This is even if he finishes Diaz early, you're going to want to see him.
He's
in
the
ring.
biggest fade on my card moving forward, but you can't fade him until they give him someone that can actually fight with him, and they're giving him a subject. And
over/unders 1.5 in this first fight. We see an under -280.
This is just designed to push everybody to the next level.
Push him up there and kind of sell the main events here, where we get to see. I don't think we've seen him for a while. I didn't look up his last fight, but King Green gets back in the ring against Jeremy Stevens.
This is a great fight because they bring Stevens earned his way back to the UFC after maybe 4 years, 5 years away, fighting another, bare knuckle and stuff. He's earned his way back. The guy's a warrior. These two guys, how they've never fought before, is amazing because they're both 20-year veterans or so. Bobby Green, 39, Stevens, 40. This will be a great stand-up fight that two guys want to freaking slug it out. Green is stupid athletic for 39 years old. He's fast, he's evasive, he talks the whole fight. His punches come from everywhere because his hands are down. He's got kicks, he's got wrestling, he's been in with everyone. The guy's very experienced.
Well, his last fight, I just looked it up, February, and that was the Zellhuber fight.
Zellhuber wanted to stand with him and fight him, and he knocked Zellhuber out, who's very overrated. Yeah. We had Bobby Green in that fight, by the way. Anyway, so Green will be using his slickness, his strike evasion, his movement and athleticism to create angles to hit Stevens, who's going to be the charging, raging bull looking to get inside and try and corner Bobby Green into a octagon corner, work the body, then the head. Stevens has the power, the will, the might, but not the speed. This is speed against power, and for that reason, most people are favoring Bobby Green. That's why he's the big chalk that he is. But
-375, just for
Green's
the record.
Green's been iced, and if Stevens touches him, Green will go. If Stevens touches anyone in the division at 155, they'll go. He still has that power. So this is going to be a good fight to watch to see if the artist can keep it simple and take Stevens out late, or win a one-sided decision, or if Stevens can catch up to him.
Yeah, plus 295, excuse me, for Stevens. Here's over under 2.5, -160 to the over in this fight as well.
Yeah, they lean over, but I could see if Bobby Green, if Stevens just comes in, I could see an accumulation where Bobby Green could finish him late.
We saw that last week. I didn't bring it up, but I mean last week what was the fight last week where the leg kicks just did that fighter in? It was one of the later fights there. That's what it was. That's right. That was the main event there, and it was just take him down casually as the fight goes on to where they can't perform anymore.
But Benson Henderson at the MMA lab is really the one that brought that into modern mixed martial arts.
Yeah, just pound him down. So it's not a quick fight, but you can see it happening as it goes on. Sean Brady goes up against Joaquin Buckley here in this fight as well. I like both of these fighters a lot. Brady is the favorite going into this. 175 is the favorite going into this fight. Welterweight bout, excuse me.
Yeah, Brady opened 300. Brady's from Philly. Again, he'll be like Sabatini's in the same gym. They'll have all his peeps there and everything. He is a vice grip American wrestler, grappler that is not going to try and stand on the feet with anyone. He doesn't really like to get hit. He's not a striker. He's a short, squat guy. And if he can't get in on you and take you down, he's in trouble. And if he can get in and take you down, you're in trouble. And so in this fight, what he's got is a guy in Buckley who has profuse power. Buckley will not want to grapple with Brady, and Brady must grapple with Buckley. So the intrigue to this fight is Brady's got to get in to get to Buckley, and what's Buckley going to do to keep this fight on the feet and touch him? And if he touches him, he'll go. And I like Brady, but I don't think he likes to get hit. And this Buckley knows what this is. The winner of this fight really propels up the division. The other one free falls down. I lean to Buckley a little bit here as an underdog in this fight.
Yeah, the interesting thing is when I did look up this fight before, neither one of these guys have fought since 2025. They haven't fought for a while. Or did I misread? Did I miss a fight there?
Well, Brady was KO'd by Mike Morales, and Buckley took some time off. He looked terrible against who? Was it Kamaru Usman?
Morales' fight was November 15th of last year for Brady.
Was Usman?
Buckley was like June 14th, 2025, Usman.
And Usman made it look easy and rubbed Buckley all over the floor in that fight. Who did Buckley train with to get ready for this fight?
Usman.
That's right.
I'm going to assume.
That's right. So he knows what's coming.
Okay.
He's prepared for 4 months for what's coming. Brady's prepared for him. Let's see who's prepared.
Yeah, let's light it up. Welterweight fight here. And that's the best part of it. These guys go in there, man, they just look so big. And then you're
they are. Well, no, they'll be 192, 194 when they fight.
Now, another guy I like is a heavyweight. Now, later in fights, I don't like him as much, but he has a lot of power. Waldo Cortez Acosta going up against Alexander Volkov here in a heavyweight bout. Here, Dominican Republic, Russian fighter. Battling it out. Volkov is a 142 favorite coming into this fight.
Yeah, he opened 185, and so there's a little money coming into Waldo Cortez Acosta. Acosta is 3 years the younger man.
I love that sound.
I'm so sorry.
All right, we'll figure
Acosta's
it out.
the younger man. He's on a ride. The UFC likes him because he's new blood in the UFC, and they're trying to get him past Volkov to put him in against, the Gan Pereira winner or who knows? Yeah. Volkov wants to get in the way of that, though. Volkov is now 37, but that's okay in the heavyweight division. But he's got great skills. Black belt BJJ, can grapple, long, tall. He'll have reach advantage. He'll have height advantage. He just will be a couple years the older man. I think Volkov is dangerous here. I like him he's what, 180?
Minus 142 right now.
Yeah, he opened 85. So there's money coming in on Acosta. I'm going to be real quiet and wait till tomorrow and hope money keeps coming in on Acosta, because the closer I can get Volkov to a pick, the more I might like it.
You like that side of it. Over under 2.5, minus 230 to the over here with these heavyweight guys, because they're just going to stand in the middle or maybe lean against the fence a little bit as it goes longer.
Yeah, it makes me like Volkov more because of the experience.
Okay, perfect. From that perspective, I like both of these guys, but Acosta, just to me, he just throws some punches, man.
Well,
I get enamored by these heavyweight guys and just how they just throw their punches.
Well, it's better than when in the second round when they can't and they're tired and they're
just leaning out. They're leaning against the wall, just hugging each other, trying to throw something. Yeah, then we got the fight I'm really looking forward to. Joshua Van. We get to see him again here against I always say his name wrong.
Taira,
thank you.
Tetsuro Taira.
From Japan. Myanmar and Japan battling it out.
Yeah, an Asian battle for a championship belt in the UFC. Both kids are proud. They should be. Van, the champ, over an odd freak occurrence to champion Pantoja when he fought him. Kid's a really gifted striker, calculating, fast. He's young as he can be, 24 years old now. Great hands, great striking, but low on experience and wrestling, grappling. Taira, longer, taller, Japanese. The UFC's dying for Japanese infusion so they can start going over there, holding events and maxing out on their manifest destiny. And so the key here is, can Van keep it up? Because if he can, and if he strikes with Taira, this will be a good, close fight. But if Taira gets him down, it's the beginning of the end, and I believe Taira gets him down. There's a reason they pushed Taira into this fight so quick while Pantoja is still healing. They want a Japanese champ, and I think they're going to get one. And I think I'm going to bet one. In fact, I've got that on my it isn't posted, I'm sorry. but Tyra's posted on my digital as minus 160 at the time. He might be minus 180 now.
For this fight,
Tyra
minus 162.
Yeah, great price.
Yeah.
I like Tyra in the
Sorry,
fight.
I was thinking about the future championship thing when you were talking there. That they're setting him up for that. I was thinking about those possibilities.
Yeah, those
toward the end of the year.
Those possibilities would be Pantoja favored more than likely.
Yeah,
and he should be, but I might lean to Tyra.
so that time you did catch me napping for a second, but that's because I was dreaming of the championship
you're
fight
allowed.
coming up. But Joshua Van there, like you said, 162 to her now, over, under. Now, this is a 5-round fight, being a title fight here.
Mm-hmm.
Over 3.5, minus 125. Under 3.5 is minus 105 in this. Flyweight fight here. Under 3.5 being a negative number. That tells you they think some things could happen early in this fight.
No, it tells me they don't know.
Oh, they don't know, at least, right? But
And
that's
that's
a possibility.
because they're in my camp. Because I think Tyra subs him. I just don't know when. I think Tyra gets him to the ground, and then once he gets him to the ground, he subs him. When does he do that? I don't know.
And then we, of course, go up. So that's a 5-rounder going into the main event fight here as well. Chimaev, Strickland. Sean Strickland battling it out here for this main event card here. Again, 6 p.m. main card starts. 1 p.m. for the early prelims, right? 3 p.m. for the other prelims as well. I'm sorry, 2 p.m. for the early prelims, 4 p.m. for the prelims, and then 6 p.m.
If you weren't confused before, you sure are now.
I know. I'm losing my mind here. I'm excited to talk about this. Strickland here, getting into the ring here. By the way, not a big underdog here, plus 425 for Strickland coming into this fight.
Yeah, I believe that's a total insult to Strickland, to be quite honest with you. This is a fight where Chimaev, who rarely fights, he has a difficult time getting visas into the States. He's here. He's a monster. He completely overwhelms people early with his wrestling, and that's why he's the favorite that he is. He hasn't fought in a year. He's fighting Strickland. Another guy hasn't fought in a year. Strickland simply has no fear, believes that Chimaev is a bully and is going to go out there with every intention to bully the bully. And so Chimaev doesn't care who he faces. As soon as the bell rings, he's taking him down, and I expect he'll take Strickland down. The issue is that once Chimaev gets a guy down, he never lets him up. And when Strickland gets up, the first time, the second time, the third time, I think that's going to really affect this fight. Because I do believe that Strickland's grappling is better than he's shown or anyone knows. And I think he's closer to on par with Chimaev than they think. Does Strickland want to hold this fight on the ground against Chimaev? No. But he has the skills to get it back up. And if he can weather a couple of rounds, I think, and take some of the steam out of Chimaev, I think this is a really good opportunity for Strickland. Strickland as a dog. On the digital magazine at the time, there was 2.5s out on the marketplace for over under. And I can look at that now to see if that's still the case, because that's what I publicized is over 2.5.
Yeah.
I got the article out because I wanted to get that.
And you're going to look at everything here, but I mean, DraftKings right now, over under 3.5, minus 154 to the under on DraftKings right now. For this main event card as well, for this 5-round fight.
Right, and if you can find a 2.5, I think I paid minus 124 early in the week, if you can even find it. Let's hold on here and look here. I can look at about 10 sports books.
I was going to say, take your time here.
DraftKings 2.5 over minus 135 is what I'm seeing right now. FanDuel 2.5 over minus 120. Circa 3.5. Superbook 3.5. There are 2.5s in the marketplace. I believe that this fight goes all the way to decision, maybe, or maybe even Strickland late. Strickland is not afraid. I'm not afraid. Strickland can be uneven, but if he fights in this fight like he fought against Fluffy, he's in this fight, and these guys hate each other. So I think we're going to see a good Strickland that's going to speak well for himself. How am I going to bet that? I don't know. I want to watch weigh-ins. I want to see what points is, et cetera, but I've already bet that 2.5 over, just FYI.
Wait. And I stumbled on my words.
I remember Don Rickles giving it to David Letterman.
My brain was ahead of me there. If he's having problems getting a visa, that tells me he's come into the States a little bit early, right? He's got to clear it, gets in here early, Vakaimev. So are you worried about weigh-ins at all on this fight for these guys?
Oh, no.
They'll be good?
No, they'll both be fine.
All right, perfect. I just don't know. Anytime you have visa, not that
his visa issues stem from the fact that when Strickland talks all his poop about Chimaev, half of it is correct. Chimaev hangs with a Dagestani leader that is surely not allowed in the United States, and someone in the United States I think would like to find, if I could say it that way. I don't know.
Good way of putting it.
He maybe overstates his position, but these two guys hate each other, and when you have true hatred in a fight and styles like this, it's man, as soon as that cage door closes, it's just going to be awesome.
All right, perfect. Yeah, no, this is a big numbered fight. UFC 328 from Newark. 2 p.m. for early prelims, 4 p.m. prelims, 6 p.m. main card. Whew, Lou, that was so exciting. I hit a wall. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I look like an amateur over here.
Well, I'm on VSIN today at 2:30 Pacific, and then I'm doing another podcast later today. So I'm just getting started with this stuff.
Busy day for you.
Yeah, this time of year with UFC, there's no college basketball. there's so little no football. So we get a little shine.
Which show is that on at 2:00?
Follow the Money with Mitch and Paul.
I knew that. Follow the Money. Yeah. So check Lou out there if you'd like. Of course, weigh-ins tomorrow morning. Then Bout Business podcast as well. Get the releases and what he saw during weigh-ins and things to that, folks. This is going to be a fun card. Most importantly, it's a card while we'll all be awake, not just up because you can't breathe and sleeping weird with your sickness. So, Lou, as always, appreciate you coming in. Next Thursday, we keep it rolling as well. We'll look back at this event, obviously. Well, we might have some NHL series locked out. Hopefully not here coming up, but and things. And then we got Allen and Costa coming up for a Apex fight out of Las Vegas.
Yeah, that fight opens pick. I don't think it stays there long. I think there'll be some Costa action, so we'll see.
Really? That's an Apex fight. Nice.
We'll see if that happens next week when we come in, but I think Costa will be a favorite next week.
Pay attention to the sneak teep coming up, of course, Sunday night, Monday morning for you as well on Gamblu.com. Lou, appreciate you very much. For everybody else, thank you for coming and joining us. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock. See you then, everyone.